A little over a month ago now, I set myself a 30-day challenge where I was going to be streaming every single day, and that isn't just because I love streaming and I wanted to have a bit of fun. There are quite a couple questions out there which were unanswered to me in regarding to like streaming and strategy and also like algorithm and analytics, and for some reason that is just the way that my brain works. I figured the only great way for me to truly break down my streaming kind of philosophy is by streaming every day for 30 days as like a big test. And I want to start off by saying streaming every day for 30 days is difficult. It is extremely hard. So my respect to the people that are actually streaming full time and they're doing it consistently non-stop. You have my like utmost respect. I know there's like a big debate nowadays where it's like, oh, what's harder, streaming or a 9 to 5? And yes, a 9 to 5 is definitely harder because the outcome isn't as great as being a professional streamer. However, that shouldn't degrade streaming to any extent. Unless someone's just sat there non-stop, just kind of like clicking going live and then just doing what they'd usually do in their day. Streaming with an actual plan, staying consistent when things aren't going well is very, very difficult. So if there's anyone out there that's kind of thinking about streaming, my best advice to you right now is literally just boot it up and have a bit of fun and kind of go from there. Anyway, for me, I've been streaming for quite a while now. It's been very on and off. I've never streamed with this much consistency before. The first live stream I ever booted up was like coming up on a year ago now. It wasn't anything unique. It's literally just been me playing games and sometimes having some fun community events. However, when I set out for this challenge, there was one thing that I really wanted to figure out, because all of my streams there's always been a great variety in content, and there was one question that I genuinely wanted to answer, and that was, what is a better strategy? Streaming daily in similarity to how I already make my content, like I'm posting videos every single day, maybe there's even 2 videos going out sometimes, or is it better to just stream on the occasion with a very thought out plan which is actually maybe going to work? And so to actually get an answer to this question, I thought, you know what, for the first time ever, I'm just going to stream every single day and just see how the ball rolls. I had a little bit of a plan going. I was going to set up a Minecraft server so any viewers that join the stream could go and play on that, and the whole kind of strategy was stream myself making the Minecraft server, get people interested in the Minecraft server, get people playing the Minecraft server, and then eventually if anyone joins the stream and they start playing on the Minecraft server, their chance of actually watching me goes up. So if the server's performing well, then my stream should perform well, and if the stream's performing well, then the server should be performing well, vice versa. They kind of bounce off of each other, right? However, this was my first mistake, because it turns out if you actually want to build a professional Minecraft server, that is extremely difficult. I had ball ache by the 4th day of doing this bad boy. Before I even released the server, I'd already spent a day of playtime just working on like the plugins, actually building the server. I even had a team of people helping me, and even that wasn't enough to actually get the server up and running in the same way that I wanted it to be. However, that doesn't mean that this didn't make for some great content. I do want to make it clear, if you haven't seen me before, I'm not massive. I don't pull loads of viewers. However, I have a nice little community going. Like, people do join up on the streams. I have a fairly regular active chat, and I'm massively appreciative for that, and I always want to focus on making better content for the streams, which is why I set out for this challenge. So when I show you this chart, I don't want you to think, oh, what a loser, boo, this guy is a no live streamer, what a waste of time, because this community actually means something to me. So if we do look at the first kind of couple of days of this chart, you can see like the first day my average was 9 and my peak was 14. I hadn't really been streaming with that much consistency at that point, so I wasn't disappointed with that stream. However, the next stream, you can see almost immediately there was a big jump, and that was when I started building the Minecraft server. And if we do just look at kind of like the next 5 to 6 days, I had some really booming streams, you know, averaging in the high kind of teens, sometimes peaking in the mid 20s, fantastic streams going on for no longer than 2.5 hours. And so what I do want to say is during this time, I did kind of figure out that, at least for my community, I can't say this for every single person that streams, my community actually likes to build projects live on stream and have a bit of fun with it. If I'm being entirely honest, I feel the exact same way. When I was streaming the building of the server and then the initial release, it was really fun kind of having chat work with me and help me out with different ideas. And I do think that is why these initial streams were so successful, outside of the fact that I kind of made my return to streaming, which is probably another reason as to why these initial streams did so well in comparison to later on. Because if we do kind of look at that middle chart, you can see the numbers are still doing okay. I'm still kind of averaging in the high teens. However, the streams are dropping off a little bit. However, something I started to notice about these streams were there was nothing special about them. I wasn't really building anything. I was just aimlessly playing on the Minecraft server. And understandably, people aren't really going to watch, especially if they're playing on the server as well. It's really difficult if you're going to be playing on the server, also having the stream up. You're not really going to be active in chat. And the whole kind of strategy of like playing with viewers doesn't really work if you're kind of a small streamer. However, there was one stream that I just randomly booted up, and if you are kind of already a part of the streaming audience, you'll be very aware of this one stream. It was like 11 PM my time, and I was kind of bored. I had quite a lot of energy, and I thought, let me just see if I can speedrun getting banned on Roblox. It might be a fun little goofy stream. That stream was just a little over an hour long, and if I'm being entirely honest, that one stream alone almost changed this whole kind of 30 days for me, because I'd already streamed that day. It was like a bit of a bonus stream. It wasn't really meant to happen. It was just a little idea off the dome. And although the stream wasn't massively successful in terms of numbers, I think I averaged 13 and peaked at 18. It was such a random stream. I was already expecting nothing, but it got such a large amount of views. Like, I know one thing that a lot of people like to focus on if they don't stream is just like the concurrent view count and the peak viewer count. However, another really important element to streaming is how many views the stream actually got. And obviously this stream only lasted a little over an hour, so I didn't really get a great chance to build up a bunch of views. However, by the time I'd ended the stream, I think I finished off on like 150 views, which means the stream was getting like 2 views a minute. As we can see now, the stream's coming up on like 300 views, which means that people were literally going back and watching the stream if they missed it. Obviously, it kind of sparked some sort of interest there. And that is what's kind of concluded my overall findings, because through this challenge, I've discovered that if you want to stream every day for 30 days, it's probably not a good idea for growth. Because for starters, if you're staying consistent with one thing, yes, if you do get extremely lucky, if you're very active on other platforms, you may start to grow in that one kind of area. However, if you're not already big and you've just kind of got a small community like what I've got, it's going to be very hard to consistently entertain your current viewership. Because as much as I hate to say it, streaming in front of a smaller audience is a lot harder than streaming in front of a big audience. Because if you're streaming in front of a big audience, it kind of opens up that pool a little bit more for people that are more willy-nilly to just have the stream open and just enjoy their time, whatever. However, if you've already got that smaller audience, you really need to focus on every single viewer individually, which may not be entirely healthy to an extent. However, if you're able to focus on every single viewer individually and keep them entertained to their own extent, they're going to maintain that viewership. They're going to keep on typing in chat. They're going to stay active, and that's going to result in you eventually building up that larger audience where you can kind of sit back and relax a little bit more. So what does that actually mean? That basically says don't stream every single day for 30 days non-stop doing the same thing, because your audience will eventually get bored of it. Those 8 people in your chat that really love Minecraft, eventually they're going to get sick and tired of seeing cobblestone. They're going to start seeing it in real life. So in my genuine personal experience, it's a lot better to do kind of random, sporadic, exciting streams which are somewhat planned out, that involve the community but not massively. And the reason why I say not massively, and some people may feel upset by this, is because if we're comparing a stream where your community is entirely involved, let's say you go on Roblox for example, you allow your viewers to join the game and you're playing with them. If you're not a big streamer, where do you think those viewers are going to start typing? Definitely not in your chat. So it's a lot better if the viewers are forced to engage with you through the YouTube chat, because that actually promotes your stream a lot more through the algorithm. I know that sounds super lame, but engagement is such a big thing for streaming. Like, if you're getting people to like the stream and type in your chat, your chances of new viewers finding you literally shoots up to like 200%. So to kind of round this up, if you want to see genuine success from a stream, plan out a very good stream idea, plan out exactly how long you're going to stream for, stick to that plan, make sure that people are actually engaging in your stream. Boosting engagement should be part of your plan, and if that somehow doesn't work, either your idea was absolutely tragic or you were horrible with engaging with people. And that does kind of lead me on now to my next 30-day plan. Obviously right now I'm going to be taking a little bit of a breather from streaming for the next couple of days. However, I will be making a fantastic announcement when I decide to make my grand return to streaming. And for those of you that maybe want a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, my next 30-day test, because for some reason my brain really likes to do these 30-day challenges, I'm going to be heavily planning out a bunch of really entertaining, super fun streams. I'm going to be really focusing on my community and engaging with chat, because that will finally bring me to some sort of research conclusion as to what is more successful. And I'm sure some of you may be thinking, okay, does that mean that he's going to be less consistent than he was before? Yes. Does that mean that I'm going to lose consistency? Absolutely not. If this 30-day challenge has taught me anything, it does mean that you need to be consistent if you actually want to succeed. I'd even go as far to say that consistency is the most important thing when it comes down to any form of content creation. You could make like 4 banging 10 out of 10 videos once a year, and I genuinely don't think you'd see anywhere near as much success if you stuck to a daily posting routine and just made sure that the ideas you were formulating were genuinely good. So I'm going to be applying the exact same rule to streaming. I'm going to be really heavily focusing on great ideas. Maybe I'll come out with a couple IRL streams, who knows. So I really do want feedback from anyone. If you are a viewer of the streams, or if you maybe want to become one, please comment something that you genuinely want to see me stream below. I don't care if that means it's some sort of like gaming or IRL or just a fun entertaining idea. Please comment it. I don't care how wacky or wild it is. I'm going balls to the walls with this shit. But yeah, just to let you know, I have no clue when I'll next be streaming. It might be 3 days, it might be a week. So yeah, that's about it. See ya.